Hello, Mark here. And before you start this episode, I want to give you a little bit of a warning that we experienced some technical difficulties with the audio. We're trying to switch over to a multi-mic setup, and we kind of failed at our first attempt here, but we have gotten new equipment that allows us to record multi-mic setup properly. But for this episode, you're going to hear some echoing. I did my best to make it sound the best it can, but hopefully the conversation is good enough that it keeps you guys engaged and you can enjoy this episode of the ButtonPress podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the ButtonPress podcast, episode 26. I'm here with Eric.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy to be back on the podcast.
We're here. We got a lot of fun things to talk about today. An interesting topic that honestly we haven't talked about, at all before recording. Sometimes we talk about our topics just to make sure we're on the same page with a few things. But this one, I think you're going in pretty blind.
Yeah, and I think it's less that we talk about it beforehand, and it's like you'll give me like what we're going to be talking about, and like just naturally a conversation happens where it's like we give bullet points. It's not like we have an entire conversation and then come on here and like reenact it. But
no, but like a briefing of what it's going to be.
Yeah, this was like you gave me like here is basically the topic and what maybe what the title of the video will be. But we didn't really talk anything beyond that further. So I don't really know what you're gonna have for me, and I don't even fully know if I know everything that I'm gonna say yet. I'm gonna see how it kind of comes along. I've learned that I'm a big think out loud kind of person, which for the podcast might be good. In the shorts, it's a little brutal. Like I love the last one we did with the guess the game.
Yeah,
you had Captain Toad, and it was like I literally went like, is it in the Mario verse? Okay, is it Breath of the Wild? Is it Kirby? Like, and it's just my brain like thinking out loud. Like I'm just trying to get things out when like. Looking back, it's clearly not those things, but I think
it's a lot different when you're sitting in the seat too. Yeah. It's like when you're on like Family Feud or something.
Oh my God, yeah.
Not that I've ever been on Family Feud, but
yeah. So quick right turn here. I watch a lot of game shows, Family Feud. Like not anymore, but I had seen a lot of it, and I would always be like, how do these people like not get these answers? And then once on a cruise ship, I had to go up and like be a part of some like game show thing that they did on there, and like. Completely froze. Like I did okay. It wasn't the most embarrassing thing in my life, but like it was one of those things that you get up there, you're kind of like, and then you go back and you sit in your seat and you're like, you think of 10 things that you could have said,
Yeah, so. It's just the worst. Like your brain just freaking turns off, and that's exactly how it is with the shorts. Like when we're guessing games and we're guessing characters, like when it comes to doing the guess the category, I can't help but guess the characters that I see directly in front of me.
Yeah.
Which the same like 4 games have been sitting on the shelf behind me. So I always see Yoshi.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, dude, I can't say Yoshi again. Like I did it for the last 3 freaking shorts.
Right. And it's, you have to guess characters that you don't just know, but you know about. For example, like just trying to I don't know. Like, does Elden Ring have a main character, or is it just?
I think a player created, but a good example actually of this. Someone commented this. Hopefully, they do watch this video. Is like, oh, you guys haven't mentioned Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn in a while or at all, and I was like, we haven't played those games. Maybe that's something we'll play in the future. But like,
right,
that's like incentive. So like, if you do want to see characters mentioned and stuff, like shout them out. Maybe we'll play those games.
And that's the thing is like. I didn't know that character's name, but let's say I did. Is that the girl with the bow? And yeah. So like, let's say I knew her name. I could throw her out there and get a yes or no, but I don't know enough about her to like. That doesn't give me as much information as like games I've played a ton, like Sam Fisher, right? Like I know a little bit more about him. So like, if all I know about her is her name and kind of what she looks like, even if I throw her out there. I don't know enough about her that it's going to give me anything.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Anyway.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
I don't know. Video games or something? I think we talk about video games here. So we're going to start rolling to the first segment. I gave a warning that we're going to be doing kind of a segmented show, and it's probably going to continue to evolve as the episodes go on. But that is, of course, we're bringing back hot takes. Yes, sizzling hot takes. This time, hot takes from us. I don't know if you have one, but I brought one for today.
I don't. I thought you told me not to bring one.
Well, that's fine.
Okay.
We got a good one to discuss.
Okay.
And I feel like it's something that I think you'll be on the same page as me, but I think a lot of people at home won't be. Okay, well, my hot take for this week is that the death of memory cards did major damage to gaming as a whole, and gaming is better when our storage is external. A lot of words. Death of memory cards is bad. I think it killed couch co-op because you can't just grab your memory card and bring it to your friend's house. I know it's probably a little inconvenient to have to, my file's not on this memory card. It's on this one. I got to swap them out. Memory cards probably hold a lot less storage than the internal storages of these consoles these days. But I feel like, but throwing that all aside, gaming has changed an incredible amount from the death of external storage.
Yeah, I mean, I agree wholeheartedly. I think that and listen, there is external storage still, right? Like I've seen these like things where you can plug it into your PS5 and you get like 2 terabytes of storage, which is great. It's still a little bit different because of the way you have your profiles now and everything's on some things may be saved on console, some things may be saved on external, and you kind of have to know what is where.
Yeah.
But I've been looking into that because especially nowadays where it's like you don't just put a disc in a console anymore. You put a disc in and then you have to download it to the console. And next thing, I'm at a point where the games I play, every time I get a new game or I want to play something old that is in my, PS5 library, I have to delete 2 games just to make room to. So I've been looking into external storage and it's pricey. I think it's like a couple $100 for 2 terabytes, which I'm sure that's a fair price. I don't know anything about hardware and technology. And
right. But 2 terabytes is pretty good for a game. That's what, 2 Call of Duties?
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding.
It's going to be half of GTA's.
Yeah, it's this half GTA. But I feel like this is maybe even a bolder statement, is that I think consoles should come with memory cards still. Give me this is going to jack up the price of consoles maybe, and maybe sell it separately. I don't know. But give us a memory card that is compatible with a newer console that can hold. It just has to be the save file of a game. And I feel like couch co-op will make a return.
Yeah.
Not that people don't couch co-op anymore, but we've done it so recently. We're playing the Resident Evil remake, and
you came over to my house. You brought the game and the memory card, and we sat on in front of my TV with my GameCube and my controller, and all you had to bring was that one game case with the discs and the memory card.
Yeah, and we were good to go. Nowadays, if we started a game here, and
on your PS5,
on my PS5, and I was like, "Hey, do you want to play?" And even recently, your car was in the shop, and if we were playing at my house.
You had to
all right, come pick me up and drive me back to your house.
Yeah.
And then we got to play on your console. But with GameCube, it was hey, yeah, I don't have a car. You want to play here today? I could shoot right over the game memory card, plug and play. Oh, we're done. Save, bring it back home.
Yeah.
And it's back here with me. I don't know. I feel like that has just been erased from gaming, and it's sad to see.
Yeah. Listen, a lot of couch co-op has dwindled ever since the emerge of online gaming in general. I remember when I got my first Xbox 360 and Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare was out. I can't remember a whole lot of times that me and my buddies got together and played a co-op game in person. It was more so me and you did it, but we lived in the same house.
Yeah.
But back before that, I don't know. I remember having sleepovers with my friends, and before, I didn't have an Xbox 360, but they did, and they would have to bring their entire Xbox 360 over, and we played through the entirety of Gears of War 1, which was super cool. But then I got my own Xbox, and it was like, now that I had the ability to play with my friends online, it was like, I don't know, it kind of dwindled in general. But I think I agree with you. I wish that the simplicity of that would come back. I just don't know how you do it.
Yeah, it'd be expensive because you need like at least I mean, if it's just save data, you could get away with a smaller thing. But like, obviously, you can't bring an entire game on a flash drive.
Yeah.
All the time because you're gonna need like an 80 gig flash drive, which that's gonna jack up the price of the console if it comes with it. Or...
Right. And like that's kind of why I'm like I'm a little hesitant to say certain things about this topic, only because like I'm sure it is doable, right? Like if you have an external hard drive, like can you do that nowadays?
Yeah, you
like,
could. Yeah, but it's like so much more tedious.
It's like a ridiculous like amount, like the amount of work you'd have to buy certain things and hardware and plug it into your console, then bring that to my house, whatever. Like the amount of work you do, it might just be easier to just unhook your power cable, unhook your HDMI cable, and just bring the damn console.
Right. Like when you're on PS2, GameCube, when you press save, like the memory cards pop up. You just throw it right on the memory card. You press a button.
Mm-hmm.
The second it says save complete, you could rip the memory card out and you're good to go. Like,
yeah.
It's not thumbing through digital folders to find where to save it.
Yeah.
How to transfer it. Stuff like that. But that's all. Not a super hot, burning hot take, but it's a take.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those things that like I agree. Like it'd be so nice to have that the ability to couch co-op at each other's houses, things like that, make it very simple. But again, like I don't think can you make a large capacity storage device like in a memory card form factor nowadays? Like can you make a memory card that's a couple terabytes? Or
I mean, you got flash drives.
Yeah, I guess so.
Flash drives get up there nowadays. You could probably get a 2 terabyte flash drive.
Probably.
Again,
what do those run you?
Price. Yeah, exactly. It's probably pricey. Like what was
that was a genuine question. Do you know how much like one of those would be?
I don't. I not currently. It's weird because I feel like growing up, like we never needed a flash drive more than, a couple gigs because it was like
put a Word document on it.
Like a Word doc or like school projects.
Yeah.
So like my idea of the price of a flash drive is like, oh, it's probably like $20.
Yeah, it's like my idea is like there's one rattling around in a desk drawer somewhere around the house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, definitely that was a very cool experience that we had where it was like I said to you, I was like, hey, my car's still in the shop. Do you want to just play at my house? And it was that simple.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And there's a beauty in that. And I think, honestly, this is not going to help my case of being a Nintendo defender or whatever people want to call me. But
well, that's all you care about.
No. No, but this just popped in my head because I looked over there. The Switch basically does this in the way that you could pick it up and just throw it into a dock. Like,
yeah,
if you have a Switch 2, I have a Switch 2. Hey, you want to play? I don't know. We're playing through Super Mario Odyssey. Oh, the save file's on my Switch. Yeah, I'll just bring it over and throw it in your dock, and we're good to go.
Yeah. The only downside there is that you need to have a Switch 2. I don't have a Switch 2, so like you can't bring your Switch 2 to my house.
Oh, like then put in your
I don't
Switch
have a dock.
1. Yeah,
it,
but that's. I mean, that's with the memory cards. We both need a GameCube.
I mean, don't Switches just use SD cards?
Yeah, they can. Yeah, you can just pop it in and out. So there you go. There's a solution. But
maybe it's kind of like I feel like what we keep getting to the same point in the road where it's like, well, you could still do this today. It just looks a little different. And
yeah,
I think it is a little bit more complicated. I don't think it's just a different form factor. I think it is a little bit more complicated than it used to be.
Yeah, of course. Like, there's not an actual menu for it nowadays. Like, I feel like you got to dig through go to your settings, go to like
storage,
something plugged in. But
there's a cloud or some thing.
The guy from Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the hot take. Another thing,
lukewarm.
The hot take is it's putting Eric to sleep.
Jeez, wow.
So another segment, which you said you might want to actually do this week, was talking about some video game news that we're excited about. It's something small. We'll grab a single a single announcement, a single headline, maybe a rumor, and chat about that. Which you said maybe you want to talk about the dreaded announcement of, or I guess trailer, drop of a trailer of a certain game and announcement of a show associated with said game that people, I think, believe that we are absolute haters of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you didn't get it already, Kingdom Hearts 4 at D23 this past weekend, they had some announcements. They showed a really cool trailer showing off Coco being brought to Kingdom Hearts 4. It looked really cool. There's an anime show apparently coming to Disney Plus, which hey, anime is not normally my thing, but I do like it to an extent. Like, I don't watch any of the big ones that I'm sure many of you watch, and I'm sure they're great, but it's just not my thing. But so that's kind of cool. Well, I'll check out that show with my wife. So again, for if it's anyone's first time here,
We hate Kingdom Hearts.
we hate Kingdom Hearts so much that we love it. And no, it's a game that we've played for many years. And I know I deep down love it.
Yeah.
And I think you do.
I do too.
Sometimes the line gets blurred where I'm like, oh my God, I think you might actually hate it. But no, it's a game that we've played for a long time, over many years. It was a big part of our childhood. And it was just one of those things that the older we got, we were kind of like, we'd play it and we kind of started to think to ourselves, like, the hell is this game about?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's 3 types of Kingdom Hearts fans.
Mm-hmm.
And I know which ones we are. Like, you either get into the game because you love Final Fantasy. You either get into the game because, ooh, Disney, which is us.
That's us.
Or there's like the third group of people who are like actually just genuine Kingdom Hearts fans and like believe that Kingdom Hearts would probably be better without all of the like Disney Final Fantasy stuff. But it wouldn't be that big without that shit. Of course.
Is there Kingdom Hearts without that?
There's not a version of Kingdom Hearts without it, but there's people out there who believe, like I've heard people state, like, I honestly think Kingdom Hearts would be better if there was no Final Fantasy characters in it and no Disney characters in it, which to me is
the
insane.
whole thing.
That's to me that's wild, but some people like the original, concept of it, whatever the hell the concept is. I don't really know.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. What you're saying is, I would love to talk to these people, not because I want to
antagonize
disparage
them,
their claims,
yeah.
But it's like, if there's anybody out there who could like give me a really good I'm sure there's YouTube videos that I just never watch, but like,
yeah.
And part of it, we do need to recognize that part of our throwing shade at Kingdom Hearts and the story is like, part of it has just become a meme now, where we do it because it's just a thing we do.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, if there's no Disney and there's no Final Fantasy,
like imagining, I mean,
that's like having SmackDown versus Raw without SmackDown and without the Raw, dog. It's like,
Raw dog. Shit.
Oh God, cut that out.
No. But what I was gonna say is, like, imagine like substituting the Disney worlds. Imagine substituting the Disney worlds for like original like Kingdom Hearts worlds, and like, I mean, the Final Fantasy characters, they're there, but I feel like they're not too crucial to a lot of the plot points. The Disney's more prominent in the Final Fantasy.
Agreed.
Like, Mickey's more of a prominent character than Cloud. Cloud just shows up and fights you for the most part.
Yeah, and like, I never played a Final Fantasy game in my life, so if it wasn't like growing up and playing those games, I thought it was like a Disney game with some other characters. Like, it never occurred to me that these people are from Final Fantasy.
Yeah, dude, I
still don't know which ones are and which ones aren't.
I found out that there's a character in the game that is from another game who shows up. I'm not gonna remember the game title. It's a DS game. You could probably look it up. I'm sure someone in the comments might say
knows,
it.
Yeah,
someone in the comments. But I saw a video the other day. There's a character. It's from this DS game, which the DS game looked really cool. You're fighting you fight. You're in like an underworld, so you're fighting like demons. but like it's kind of mirrored in the overworld, but it uses both the DS screens, so you're fighting on both screens.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is interesting. That
but I
was
was-
worth bringing up. I was just about to say, like, I feel like this conversation is going the way that the Kingdom Hearts story does, where it's like, what are we even doing now?
Yeah. But I was like, dude, what? Like, why are we like? We're just including everybody in here now, which is fine. Whatever. Like, people love these characters, but
Yeah, I do love those games, and it's one of the few games or pieces of content that I could like not fully understand the story. And I know there's people out there who are going to be like, "How do you not get it? Like, do you know whatever?"
you didn't play the app that you cannot play anymore.
Yeah, like I don't fully understand it, and maybe if I did a little research and a little bit more dedicated, like, okay, what is? I feel like I would need some pictures. Like, I don't have enough crayons to draw all this out and figure it out. But, and again, it's just kind of a meme we do now. But I am excited for the new game because we are Disney fans, and it looks fun. It looks cool, and I like going to all those different worlds. And the Final Fantasy stuff is something that I kind of glance right over. Like you said,
I feel like that is. Final Fantasy has become less and less prominent as the games have gone on. I feel like Kingdom Hearts has like kind of formed its own identity now.
Yeah,
with everything
for sure.
Getting to play as Mickey and Donald and Goofy.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah,
in the new game.
That's some cool stuff. And
Donald's the most powerful sorcerer in all of the Final Fantasy lore, by the way.
Really,
he casts a spell in I think it's Kingdom Hearts 2. Someone's gonna correct me, but it's like. In the Final Fantasy world, it is like beyond human conception of like how powerful this spell is. Like, it's insane. Like, you can probably see there's probably YouTube videos out there of Donald Duck, why he's the most powerful Final Fantasy magic user out there.
Yeah, well, he could probably heal a little more then, but
yeah, for real.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for that game. Are you in a place where you're like, I'm gonna get that? I feel like we got very excited for Kingdom Hearts 3, you and I, and this was obviously years after we had played the first two, and then I think you kind of replayed the first two here and there with some friends and stuff.
Yeah, I've replayed it before,
which I think is the thing. My wife played through Kingdom Hearts recently, like over the last year. She played through all three. And if it wasn't for her playing it and me kind of tagging along for the journey, I never would have jumped back. I wouldn't have replayed them. So
I don't know if I'm going to get 4 on release.
I'm sure I will get it.
You guys will for sure.
So if you want to experience it at all.
Yeah. I'll bring the tomatoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine she's just playing it and this sword pops up just
yeah.
Fucking launch of tomatoes at your TV.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, no, I don't know, man. It's one of those games that I feel like I like it a little bit more than you do, maybe.
Probably. I mean, none of my hatred is actually genuine hatred. I'm glad people enjoy those games. I'm glad they're good. And they're really cool, but I think I've just slowly learned that I'm just not a Kingdom Hearts guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like if you get the mood might strike you.
Possibly.
You know what it is? I feel like because the problem is because we like the games because we're Disney fans. And I feel like we're on a bit of a Disney lull right now where it's a lot of stuff going on in the theme parks are under construction and certain things. So we just haven't had that kind of, excitement to get into Disney stuff.
Yeah.
But who knows? I feel like maybe the next trip we take down there, maybe you'll say, you know what, I'm going to play some Kingdom Hearts.
That's true. That is true.
But who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Kingdom Hearts. Coming soon. Next year, I think, right?
Late 2027 is what they said.
Okay.
They said, and they very adamantly, said, no matter what, it's coming out in 2027. This is not an 80%, 90%. It is 100% coming out late 2027.
Cool.
That's what they said. Now, that being said,
nah, that's never gonna happen.
Whatever unforeseen circumstances could happen,
No, yeah, I'm that's cool though. That they're standing strong on the date that they're bringing out here.
Yeah, that's cool.
But
that's cool.
Well, now that we're done rambling about Kingdom Hearts, the Kingdom Hearts segment of the show is over.
Yeah, you can turn your volume back up.
We got the main topic of the show, which is what makes a video game hold up years later after its release. which I have a chart. I have a chart. I have a system. I think I've thought about it long enough, and I think I've come up with a good way to figure out if a game holds up, and also if a game would benefit from a remaster or a remake, which those are two very different things. But here we go. The chart drawn on a whiteboard right here. Hopefully the glare is not too bad, but I'm going to read it out to you guys anyway. But I think a game needs to have two of these three things in order to hold up years later. We'll say 15 years later. Big gap. Maybe even 10. So first thing it can have is an impactful narrative. I think story can carry a game a long way. It's, a lot of games stand strong still because of the story. Timeless graphics that are not going to age out a lot of the time, or at least older games that was striving for realism. They don't have timeless graphics. They're going for realism, but they don't quite achieve it. Not very timeless. And it needs engaging gameplay. It needs some sort of hook. It needs some sort of exciting gameplay. Gameplay holds a lot of weight, obviously. A game could be pretty good with just gameplay. Good gameplay. And I want to state that I don't think a game needs to have two of these three things to be good on release. I think they can have one of these things, which most games should have two. But I think any of these three can be replaced with cultural relevance instead. So a game could have engaging gameplay and have cultural relevance, and it's going to be popular when it releases, but maybe 10 years, 15 years down the line, if you go back to it, it's not going to hold up because it doesn't have that cultural reference anymore. It just has the gameplay. It doesn't have an impactful narrative, and the graphics are outdated. Or maybe a game that has an impactful narrative and is culturally relevant at the time. People buy it, blows up on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, blah, blah, blah. People go crazy over it. You go back to it. Yeah, the story's good, but it's not fun to play anymore because it's not that relevant. It doesn't have engaging gameplay. So I think most games can be thrown through this chart, and you can figure out if a game is going to be everlasting after its release, which I feel like we can do with some of our favorite games. I told you to kind of have in mind some of your favorite games, perhaps some of the older games that we played. But yeah, that is my TED Talk on how games hold up and if they do and how you can expect them to hold up. And just because they're good on release doesn't mean they're going to hold up. Bam.
Okay. That was a lot. This felt very Charlie Day.
Really just worry about this. This is just explaining cultural relevance can substitute for one of these on a game's release.
Yeah. So cultural relevance, I feel like there needs to be it's just such like a broad thing, right? Like cultural is like, do you mean like people everywhere kind of got into this, or like for example,
so I was
like for example, right? Like 2020 Call of Duty Warzone.
Yeah.
That
Everybody
was like
scan this up.
Yeah, go ahead and grab something.
Continue, you can talk.
Call of Duty 2020, Warzone, that era. Obviously, there were things going on in the world that led people to be home and, playing a lot, maybe more so than usual. And so, like, that's obviously a big cultural relevance. Like, you could talk to a lot of people and they can, pretty much say, like, oh, yeah, 2020 Warzone was a... like an absolute peak in battle royale history, whatever, which is true. But like also there's certain things that I feel like maybe had cultural relevance in the sense that like, I don't know, like we liked it. And I don't know if necessarily a lot of people did. Like basically what I'm saying is that I think nostalgia plays a huge factor into whether or not a game holds up.
Yeah. And that's actually a really good thing. First of all, I was going to split cultural relevance and social relevance into two different categories of things that can replace. Because you were saying like COVID, you know, people getting stuck in their houses. That's what pushed COD. Not saying that COD Warzone is a bad game, but that is, more of a social relevance because everyone's getting stuck inside. We're all playing it together, and like cultural relevance perhaps could be a game launching alongside like a movie or like a show that's popular at the time. I'm trying to think like Fortnite has a lot of cultural relevance because whatever's hot is right in the game right there. And it doesn't have to be a movie tie-in game. It doesn't have to be anything like that. But like even James Bond First Light, great game, phenomenal game. But it still has cultural relevance. Not saying that it's replacing one of these main things, but it has cultural relevance because it's James Bond. That's the cultural relevance.
Yeah.
And maybe cultural relevance over time becomes nostalgia.
Okay.
But another thing I was thinking about with the chart holding up is what the game would get from a remake or a remaster, which I think if the game
Sorry, I'm just going to silence this because
No, you're good. The game can get a remaster or remake if it only has one of the three main triangle things here. So if a game has impactful narrative but doesn't have engaging gameplay or timeless graphics, we need a remake. Remakes are going to redo some of the gameplay elements, going to give us the engaging gameplay and some updated graphics. Maybe not timeless graphics, but the updated graphics. If we get a game that has engaging gameplay, but doesn't have timeless graphics, it's time for a remaster. We don't need a remake. We don't need to redo the system that's really good, that's holding up. We just need to remaster it to give us some, refill the timeless graphics meter, give us some better graphics on the engaging gameplay, which makes the game now a version of that game that holds up. I hope this is all making sense.
It is. So like in my head, I was like, man, okay, then let's find the gems that have held up. But like, I'm just going through a bunch of more games in my head that like I'm applying this thought process to, and it's a lot more has held up than I necessarily would have thought. But then also it's like it doesn't, So it's like I guess it depends on which way the conversation wants to go. For example, NBA Street V3 for GameCube, the one with Mario, Luigi, Peach, all that, and it was it was NBA players and they played 3-on-3 street ball.
Right.
There's no impactful narrative, but like we played that recently with family members and it was pretty engaging. We had fun. Are the graphics timeless? I don't know. Are they bad? No. Like, does timeless graphics mean like I could play that in 30 years and I could still appreciate it? Like I don't. It's hard to. I guess it depends on who it's timeless. You know what I mean? Like, I might say, man, this is timeless because I remember as a kid getting this game and just playing it nonstop, and this will always be timeless to me. Like, but if I have a son one day who plays this game in 15 years, is he going to look at it and say this is just timeless, or is he going to say this is like baloney? This is like
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So. The way I think about it, especially with NBA Street V3, if that's what we're talking about, I think the timeless graphics come. First of all, I think Mario graphics are just always timeless, pretty much. Just because of their cartoony nature, they don't really, get worse over time, like something like that's trying to strive for realism. But also, NBA Street V3 has Mario characters in it, but also like people are going up for dunks and the ball is like lighting on fire, and stuff like that. Like, let me ask, like, if I hand you a copy of NBA, I don't think 2K even existed at this time, but like NBA Live, like 08, and gave it to you, would you be like, wow, this is freaking awesome? Like, it's basketball. Like, it's still the same basketball game, but it doesn't have the timeless graphics of the flaming ball, Mario, that kind of like bright, cheerful energy. It doesn't have a narrative, and does it have engaging gameplay? I don't know.
Yeah. So like to me that like I'm not gonna play that any other time than like we happen to have a family gathering and we want to throw something on. We're like, yo, let's do a dunk contest in NBA Street V3. I'll never play that other than that particular scenario. But I think it's held up to some degree. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, in meaning like, you know, you can play that and have a good time with it, and like you can play that, and there's no part where your enjoyment is hindered by you know, the graphics or
Yeah.
but maybe it is. I don't know. It's a lot of this is opinion based, which is the
Yeah.
problem.
It is.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
no,
Like
for sure.
I was too I feel like I'm too caught up on like because we have this you know, scientifically proven chart. It's like I'm trying to find something that is like a provable fact, but it's really not. Like all of
No.
this, like someone could say, you know, The Last of Us was an impactful narrative. And there's other people that may say, didn't really move me. I don't know. You know, it's like not my thing.
It's totally opinion based. I also think the argument of bad games can be fun games needs to be weighed in.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like a game that you only throw on when everybody's around, it's like it's a bad game, but it's fun.
Mhm.
It's fun.
Mhm.
That's kind of something that I would take into consideration. But like something that came to my mind when talking about this is like games like the original Metal Gear that we played on NES.
Yeah.
That did not hold up at all. But there's plenty of NES games that have.
Correct. Yeah. That's a good point.
Like Metal Gear does not have engaging gameplay. It doesn't show you a lot of things that you're supposed to do to beat the game.
Yeah.
It's pretty frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes even like just straight up broken. It has not really an impactful narrative. There's not. It's very, very bland. The only thing I think it does have is timeless graphics. I think it has some timeless NES graphics.
Yeah.
Which means if they completely remade Metal Gear 1 from NES and remade it with better gameplay, maybe add a little bit more story bits.
That game, I remember we were playing it, and I felt like when we were playing it, that's one of those things we said where it was like, it feels like they tried to do a lot of things here. Like they were very ambitious and tried to do a lot of things that like were just hard to do in that time. Like certain aspects of it, I just remember like, I feel like technology wasn't there yet. Like, I don't know, just certain things. And then explaining it weird. But we also played it, you know, a remake on Switch. Whereas like back in the day, you had the manual and like part of it was going into the manual to figure things out. So, you know, that kind of hindered the experience a little bit. But I think a part of it was they tried to do a lot of really cool things that may have missed the mark. But it was, the thing is, I think one of the things I was thinking about when you gave me the topic was the biggest thing that's going to help a game hold up is simplicity. Meaning, I mean, just think about it. Any situation that you go into in life, whether it be a social setting or you're going into work, or like, do you ever sit there and say like, man, I hope this is going to be really complicated? Like when you go to watch a movie, do you say like, man, I hope this is a really complex, complicated movie? Not really. You know, you kind of hope it's something that's easy to digest, but still entertaining. And maybe the movie thing wasn't a great one-to-one reference, because obviously you don't want your movie, you know, you want your movies to have story and plot and twists.
You want to think about it.
You want it to be thought-provoking. But what I'm getting at is like, you know, certain things in Metal Gear, like having to find hollow spots on the wall and blow them up to create your own doors. Like the experience that we had, I don't think we really knew that we were supposed to do that until we like kind of caved in and we're like, what do we need to do here? And then we kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
Like we looked it up. But you know, certain things like that, like that's a really cool idea and a really cool feature, but it's like, I don't know. It was just like they kind of made it too complicated. Like, and they tried to do things that were over the top. Like, you know, the whole plot twist was just, oh, this guy was just straight up lying to us the entire game. The guy, whoever the guy was in your ear, I forget his name.
Yeah.
Like, he's telling us all these things to do, and then the plot twist is, I've just been lying the whole time. I'm the bad guy. And it's like, well, what the hell did we just do all that for?
Exactly. And I think the part of like them trying to do more than they could actually achieve It's you can almost pin like social relevance on that. It's like people didn't know better than Metal Gear or like those games coming out at the time. There wasn't the newer Metal Gears to compare it back to, or newer games that are in the same genre of that like stealth action games
Yeah.
that have done it better. So it's like the social relevance is we don't know any better. So that kind of like takes over the engaging gameplay or the impactful narrative. But now as time has gone on, the game doesn't hold up because the social relevance is gone because it's been blown wide open by better made games.
Right.
Including better made games in the same series.
Right. And for example, like that, like there were certain things that I remember happening. Like he was like, get in the truck on the left. And we got in the truck on the left. And it brought us back to like the beginning of the
whole game,
the
I
whole
think.
game, basically. Yeah. We had to trek to the whole base again. And we were like, all right, well, we're not getting in that truck. And I remember we were like, what is this? And like a part of it being like that, the fact that like, you know, there's no like cutscene of them being face to face and this big villainous reveal. Like it's just text of this guy, like, you know, telling you to go do things. And eventually at some point he kind of starts misleading you little by little. And then stuff like that happens where he's like, quick, get in the truck on the left. You get in the left and it just goes, and it just drives you to the back of the game. And I remember us being like, what the hell? And like, it didn't really land as like, wait a minute, is this guy like working for the enemy? Like, it was just kind of like, what are we doing?
Yeah, we're like, is it bringing us back here to do something? Like,
right. And it was, yes, that was the other thing. It was like, what are we supposed to do here? And like, it never occurred to us like, no, that's the twist. He's just setting us up and lying because there's no body language. It's like, I don't know, like trying to convey like sarcasm or trying to convey like a tone of voice through text because there's no voice dialogue. It's all over text. And there's no cutscene where like this guy does like his big, like, you know, turn around in the chair and it's me the whole time kind of deal. Like, I don't know. So like, I agree. That's something that I think would be like, imagine a remake, even like, you know, a remake with like 3D graphics where you can kind of have those moments and, yeah, I don't know.
That'd actually be really cool. A remake of those two OG Metal Gear games. Don't make them like Metal Gear Solid games. Like, don't make them like third person, like, you know, over the shoulder. Some of the newer ones are like third person over the shoulder. I know some of the earlier Metal Gear games are like stationary cameras, almost kind of like Resident Evil. But give us that top-down isometric look, but give us like the new, maybe like 3D graphics or even like 2D with like HD lighting would be really, really cool. Maybe a little bit more detail in there.
Yeah.
Maybe definitely change up the gameplay a little bit in some way, shape, or form. Make it a little more clear cut, a little more, you know, understandable at some points, and then even voice acting, some cutscenes, or even some like I don't know what you'd call them, like and like almost like you give us pictures of them talking and have it being like voice acted, and then like every now and then the screen, like the scene changes to them doing something like,
just do it like Star Fox.
What, like fully animated cutscenes?
Well, the cutscenes, yeah, but like the way Metal Gear has always worked is like it shows a picture of a guy's face.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
I mean the newer games do that. The newer Metal Gear Solid games, like the one that we had on GameCube. I specifically remember, I haven't played that much Metal Gear.
Twin Snakes.
Twin Snakes, which I think was a remake of something else. Whatever. It's a
remake of the first one.
So
don't quote that.
Yeah, we don't know. But like I specifically remember, like all of a sudden you'd hear like the classic phone ringing, and then it goes to a black screen. It's got a picture of Snake and a picture of whoever he's talking to, and while the text comes out, it's voice acted.
Yeah.
But then the little guy on the animated side, like his mouth is moving too.
Right.
Like do it like that.
And and I think do that, refine the story of that a little bit, and you got a good remake because the timeless graphics. Honestly, the graphics are pretty fine, but you could improve them because people will complain if you don't.
Yeah.
But you'll get engaging gameplay, and then you'll get your impactful narrative if you can land that story beat of the whole story twist, build on it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then you're good to go. That's like I think this is like also a good kind of formula to figure out does this game really need a remake? Which is a very interesting topic because plug something like Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time in here, which is currently getting a remake, but I fully believe that I honestly think Ocarina of Time has all three of these: an impactful narrative, timeless graphics, and engaging gameplay. Some people might argue that the N64 graphics are not timeless. But I think the ones that don't strive for realism, the ones that are still cartoony, they hold up because they allow the imagination to work. But maybe even if you don't consider that timeless, you can't argue that Ocarina of Time doesn't have engaging gameplay and an impactful narrative.
Mm-hmm.
But we're still getting a remake, which I'm not against the remake, which is a weird thing to say after I just said this chart tells us if it's going to be worthy of a remake.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of just that thing too of like, hey, we love this thing, we want more of it.
Yeah.
So does it need it? No. And it's like one of those things where it's like when the original is so good, it's okay to do a remake, because if the remake stinks on ice, you always have the original. You know what I mean? If this remake comes out, like here's the thing. This remake can come out and I think remakes can only do good. I don't think they can do harm. Whereas like, like sometimes like a movie will come out and they'll do a sequel and it's like, why are they doing a sequel? Don't touch this. It's perfect the way it is. Fine, I get that. But a remake, like all that this can do is bring more people into the fold of old school Legend of Zelda games. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it will prompt a lot of people to play the original. I mean, it already did for me.
Right. And if you get the remake and it's like dog water, then you're going to say, all right, well, I have the original. The original still holds up. I could play that.
Right. Yeah.
But there may be some kid who's, 8 years old right now who will get the remake when he's about 10 years old, play it, and then that's his introduction to The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. And that's exciting. That is exciting.
That is exciting.
But
or it gives the opportunity for some dudes who have kids now, and they're like a lot of households, their N64s and N64 collections fell to the hard death of garage sales and mom giving it away to the neighbor's kid and stuff like that. Now that the remake is coming out, they're going to be able to say, hey, I have a PS5 now, or a Switch 2 now, because it's probably not going to be a PS5.
No, it's not a PS5.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, you know what I meant. Modern
Yeah.
consoles. See, this is the thinking out loud thing. Like, hey, I have a Switch 2, or maybe this will make them get a Switch 2, but they're like, I have a Switch 2, and, my 10-year-old son loves playing Switch 2, or daughter. But the... now they could say like, hey, I'm going to get this remake because I can show them a game that I played when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And we can do that together. And that's cool.
That is cool. That's definitely cool. And I'm not saying just because a game has more than one of these, it doesn't need to be remade or it can't benefit from a remake or remaster. It's just a lot easier to tell which one it would benefit more from, because remasters obviously, for the most part, take a lot less time. They're not building from the ground up. A lot of the time, they're just, making it look prettier.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Remake redoes the whole thing. We're seeing a lot of games get remakes nowadays. Ocarina of Time. There's God of War remakes happening. There's Final Fantasy remakes coming out. It's like Final Fantasy is another beast that it's like a beast of a game that it has engaging gameplay, impactful narrative, timeless graphics for the most part. Some people, I think that one's a little more arguable for the graphics. Well,
that's an interesting point, is because Justin, who you all know, he lent us his PS3 and Final Fantasy VII, so that my wife could play it, because she's such a big Kingdom Hearts fan. We thought maybe she'll like Final Fantasy. And I think she still might, but she put that one on, the original PlayStation 1 version, and within like 10 minutes, she was like, I hate this. And part of me thinks that if she gives it another try, there could be something there.
Yeah.
But, she was like not into it, but there's a remake. So I think maybe that might be the route we go, is try to get her on that and see if she likes it. But, I mean, I don't care either way, because I don't play Final Fantasy. But,
right. 7's a game that I want to play, but do you have any games that you have in your head that besides NBA Street V3.
Yeah, I
that
mean,
that like plug into this game.
So, like,
plug
I'm
in this
thinking-
chart and see what you get.
yeah, I mean, like, so for me, like, the obvious one is GoldenEye,
Right.
which is like,
I think GoldenEye definitely has engaging gameplay now.
yeah. I mean,
you sounded reluctant.
Well, it's like interesting to think about because like I replayed it on the Switch store and I was able to remap some of my controls, and like playing GoldenEye with a movement stick and a camera stick, having two joysticks, it was like a much more enjoyable experience than you know, going on and playing it on N64.
Yeah.
You know, and like timeless graphics. I can't tell you, and this goes back to my argument of simplicity is key, because now, like, I don't know if when they made GoldenEye, right? I don't know if they looked at their character models and said, I mean, dude, this is unbelievable how realistic these things look.
Like Triangle James Bond.
Right,
like,
right.
He's just
but the thing is, the simplicity of that, whether that was like their honest attempt at realism back then, or not, I don't, you know what I mean? Like were they trying to say like, hey, we need to make this look as much like a real life human being as possible, or were they just, and they ended up being limited by the technology they had, or did they say like, hey, this is good enough, like we don't need it to be, a movie. There's already a movie. But regardless, like the simplicity of that is like, when you get a game that you try to go super duper realistic for, there's always going to be a couple years down the road a game that looks more realistic.
Yeah.
And because of that, it's like, if you have an old game that was trying to be super realistic at the time and it has now become a little outdated, you go back and it's like, it's a little bit harder to play than if you're going to go back into GoldenEye. It's like, kind of what you're getting into. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
The graphics are outdated in the sense that they don't look like that anymore, but it hasn't gotten to a point where it's like, this is an attempt at realistic graphics that just don't hold up anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, people are like, in the year 2026, people are developing games specifically with that look and feel to it.
Yeah.
And I think that helps it hold up. It's like you said, kind of about Mario, where the graphics are cartoony and, they're not going for super realistic. I feel like you can have a game like GoldenEye that holds up because it's like, it's not overly realistic and it kind of floats in between that. Like, is it realistic or is it cartoony? But like playing games like that, like I said, there's people making games today with those graphics and with those shapes and with those kinds of character models today, and they look awesome. And it's like, I don't know.
So a couple things. I think out of these three, timeless graphics holds the least amount of weight for a game holding up.
Okay.
Like, I think these two are much more important. I think gameplay is the most important. It holds the most weight. Narrative, definitely second. Timeless graphics, because I think it's kind of a curve where it's like, yeah, there's a point where these graphics are the best. And then it gets to the point where it's like, all right, these kind of look like shit, like whatever. And then it gets to the point where it's like, oh, I kind of miss these.
Yeah.
But also, I think,
sorry, go ahead.
A way to tell if graphics are timeless as well, and this doesn't hold true for all of them, but for GoldenEye, is if it doesn't affect the two other sections. So, like, if the awful graphics is not affecting your gameplay, like if you're looking around for something and you're like, what even is this? Like, I can't
like
see.
pixels.
Yeah, like I can't find something, or like it's something like that. Then it hurts. Or if timeless graphics, if your graphics are affecting your story, if because of your bad graphics, the message, the impactfulness of your narrative is being deflated a little bit, that could be a hint that your graphics are not timeless.
Yeah, I think, and like to go back to GoldenEye, like it's a weird thing too, because like it's engaging gameplay, but like we've tried to play it recently, and it used to be engaging to us for hours as kids playing those games, but we tried to play recently on N64, like we've talked about, and it was just kind of like, I don't know. We all looked around and was like, hey, this is not nearly as enjoyable as it used to be.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is like I said, us not being used to having one stick to control your movement and your camera and, things like that. And like the narrative is okay. It's not
Right.
like an earth shattering, oh my God, heart wrenching story by
Yeah.
any means, but no James Bond thing really is.
Right.
Um,
But I'm also someone who thinks that GoldenEye doesn't hold up.
right. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Is like, it's a game that people talk about so heavily, but I would argue that it doesn't hold up and could I think it could benefit from a remaster.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like it doesn't need to be completely from the ground reworked every mission and gameplay. Like it doesn't need to be made into a modern Bond game.
Yeah.
It just needs to have the same contents, look better, and play smoother.
Yeah. And I'm on the fence about like, do I want them to so what I would like them to do is do a remaster and add some sort of like, I like when games have some sort of haptic for when you hit somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like in Call of Duty, you get like the hit markers and things like that. I'd like a little bit more feedback on that. Or this is what I'm on the fence about. You know how you can like free aim and it does a little red circle crosshair and you can move your hand like this?
Yeah.
Would I have them keep that or would I have them go to like a traditional ADS?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I don't think you need an absolute full-blown from the ground up modernized version. Would
right.
it be
Like
cool?
then,
Probably I'd play it, but
yeah, but like they don't need to take every mission and rebuild it into something
right.
bigger and crazier and redo that. Like keep the enemies in the same spot, keep the gadgets the same, the gameplay the same. Just remaster it.
Yeah.
But that's a freaking really good one. Is GoldenEye.
I mean, that has a ton of cultural
or
relevance.
there's social relevance as well. Like that's if we want to split that into two, cultural and social. But
I mean, social it definitely has. Cultural, you can argue that it was like
Bond.
Yeah, it's Bond, but it's also like kind of was very pioneering. How he has that? It was a
It's
very pioneering game in the first-person shooter world.
Exactly. So yeah, that's another thing. Like, just because it does it first doesn't mean it holds up the best.
Right. Right.
And I wasn't aware of this when we started saying this, but I've heard multiple people on multiple occasions say say GoldenEye doesn't hold up. Like we tried to play, it doesn't land.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And which is like a tough thing for people to admit because
they love the game. But
you could still love it and say that, just because it doesn't hold up doesn't mean we'll never play it again and never play.
A bad game could be a fun game.
Bad game can be a fun game.
But like then you get Mario 64. Does that hold up? Because I know like you played it recently and you're like, dude, the controls are just like they're not what I want.
I would want everything to look exactly the same graphic wise. I would just love like a full like the 3D like having a camera that you can just pan indefinitely with a separate stick. Like the way the camera's just like and I don't know. And there were certain things like Mario had some weird movement things that like sometimes I would go to like turn around and like, like if let's say I'm pressing up on the stick to walk forward and I want to turn around, I would press down. If you were off even like a little bit, I would find myself like on a skinny path and I'd want to just do like a stop and complete 180. But instead, like if you were off just like a little bit, he would start doing like this kind of loop around. And if you're on like a skinny pathway or something where you got to be more precise, you're done.
Yeah.
So there were some frustrating things with that, like that, but it didn't that I don't think that's enough to justify that it doesn't hold up it definitely isn't. The game holds up.
Yeah. I'd really like you pointing out though the fact that like a game is pioneering a genre or a mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
That's like cultural relevance. That's not engaging gameplay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's temporary engaging gameplay because it's like once somebody does it better, it's like it can be better.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's interesting. It's really some of these things, like you can convince yourself one game holds up, like NBA Street V3 doesn't have an impactful narrative. I mean, would you argue that it has timeless graphics?
Kind of, maybe.
And the gameplay is engaging, but like put it this way, we played that somewhat recently.
Yeah,
And it was engaging. We had fun with it, but I have no desire to play it again.
Right. I think there's also a scale. Like, it's not just a yes or no. This holds up. This does not. Like, I think it's like, yeah, this holds up. Yeah, this kind of holds up.
Yeah,
and not really. Or
yeah,
this needs to be fucking remade right
now. All right, let's start. Let's rip through a couple games like that you think.
I mean, let's see. Like, use my favorite game of all time, Uncharted 2. I don't think it needs a remaster. It has engaging gameplay. It has impactful narrative. Doesn't really have timeless graphics. Like, of course, it could be improved. Like, but also,
so that's one of those things where it's like they went for like super realism in a time where it was a little bit hard.
Yeah,
not hard, but like, you know, it's just not gonna. The timeless graphics are not there because the realistic attempt is not going to cut it by today's standards.
Yeah, but I think it still holds up because it has the two other parts of.
Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, they have remastered, which is really funny. It's just, and like, I don't necessarily think the graphics hinder either of the other two sections. It doesn't hinder the narrative or the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think the graphics are timeless. I think eventually people look at Uncharted 2's graphics and be like, yikes.
Yeah.
But it's going to hold up. Engaging gameplay, impactful narrative. It's there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of something off the top of my head that doesn't hold up. I mean, there's a lot of... Oh, the original Metroid. Not impactful narrative. Gameplay is kind of booty. It really just has the timeless graphics of NES. I think NES graphics are timeless. The simpler the graphics, the more timeless I feel like it kind of becomes, like you were saying. That's why NES games, it's really toss-up if it holds up or not, because a lot of them could tick off the box of having timeless graphics.
Yeah, and again, I don't want to make the confusion of timeless graphics being like nostalgic. Like the fact that game holds up. It's not timeless.
Which one?
Metroid or
no, I don't think it does.
But you said it had the timeless graphics.
Right, but it doesn't have any of the other two.
Right. So that's what I'm talking about is the graphics. Like just because you look at something and you're like, this looks like an NES game, that's timeless because it is old and nostalgic. That's one aspect of looking at it. But like for me, very clearly, the distinction is that like that's timeless because it's not going for anything. You know what I mean? Like a pixelated person. I hope the mic just picked up your stomach rumbling like that.
I'm fucking starving. I'm fucking starving.
You know what I mean? Like because it's so simple. Like, you know, like this is like the most.
I got you. I got you. Ready?
Like the most blanket way to say it's like you'll never look at Pong and be like, oh man, this is the most outdated version of ping pong ever.
Right. It's as long as the graphics don't fail to do what it wanted to achieve over time, it's timeless. If a game goes for realism and
we hit a point in technology where you could do better.
Yeah. Which like right now, I think games are going to look like it's so ironic, but I think we're at a point where most games, if they're striving for super realism, we're not going to see much better than what we got now. Like we're hitting the wall. That's why people are, you're getting a lot of games with interesting art styles now.
There's a level of like there's a lot of games where I look at, and if you look at screenshots, they look really realistic, where I think they can mainly improve. What are you laughing at?
My fucking stomach growling. I just thought about it again as I was drinking. I was like trying to make it not happen again.
There's a lot of games that I've noticed that look really realistic in their screenshots, but when people start moving and like there's just still certain like and that's maybe like the beautiful thing about human existence is that like there's like this unspeakable thing that's hard to capture, and it seems like every year they discover one more thing about it. Like no human face is symmetrical. Like,
right.
Like doing little things like that in video games now, like every year I feel like they scratch another layer away of like what's getting closer and closer. Like I think looks wise, like I said, screenshots, you can nail a lot of human appearance.
Yeah.
But there's very little things, like even just something as simple as like you and I talking here, and like I can stare directly into your eyes, and like, you know, your blinks aren't consistent,
Right. It's not
on
every
beat, and you know, sometimes you're sitting here and like you lean like this way a little bit, scratch there, look up there, and like,
Yeah.
you know, getting people to move like that more in video games, I think would be, you know, I think there's still a lot of work to be done. And when I say that, I don't disparage anyone who's made games that look realistic. Like you know, people are doing phenomenal things.
Right.
And is there a way to do that? Like, can you design a character and like every little, like, I don't know, sitting here at the table, and instead of my hand sitting here like this, steady, like, you know, doing whatever I do, like kind of
Yeah.
every little
I think
motion,
mocap.
you know,
Yeah,
kinda-
mocap helps with that.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I think the idea of like, if the graphics fail to do what they achieve over time, then it flops.
Yeah.
That's not the only way that it becomes not timeless, but like, if it affects gameplay or narrative, then maybe it's not timeless.
Yeah.
But I think NES graphics almost tick the box of timeless graphics.
Yeah.
Did I say NES graphics? I think I did. NES games tick the boxes of timeless graphics.
You know, I'm thinking too about, like, it's hard to say. Like, I don't know. What other games do you think would hold up? And give me some games that you think hold up and some that you don't.
Okay. Any of the Donkey Kong Country games, 1, 2, 3. Engaging gameplay, timeless graphics. They don't tick the box of an impactful narrative. Something that doesn't hold up. It's hard to think.
I guess it would have to be something that doesn't.
I'm also trying to not grab like an offshoot game that's like.
You don't want to say Bugs Life doesn't hold up, because most people could probably guess that Bugs Life doesn't hold up.
Bugs Life might hold up. Toy Story 2 holds up.
Toy Story 2 is
on the N64.
Freaking wicked.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Dude, we got to pop Bugs Life in one of these days.
Yeah. That game used to scare me.
That's a game I actually played when we were younger. We had it on PC.
Yeah. I remember it scaring the shit out of me.
Yeah. Maybe we should overcome that and play through that one day.
Yeah, sure. I'm trying to think of like something like more recent that doesn't hold up. Like you might be able to argue that. No, I don't know. I was gonna say some of the older GTAs, but like I feel like I don't have that much experience to say, because like the narratives are okay at best.
Yeah.
Like I feel like GTA was never too much until like GTA 4 or maybe even 5. They didn't really like go too hard on the narrative of it. A lot of people don't even like the narrative of GTA 5.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, because I think there's a general consensus about certain games that hold up. You know, Ocarina of Time, everyone knows that holds up. Mario 64, everyone knows that holds up. And I say everyone, I mean most people. Obviously, there's people out there who would disagree. What is a game that you think holds up, but you feel like you'd have to make an argument for?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm trying to think. Like that's hard.
And like I think a game, like I said, I think a game can hold up, but also maybe benefit from a remaster or remake.
Yeah, we've gone through
like
that
I'm
route,
trying to look at some of these games down here, and like one of the ones that came to my head was Red Dead Revolver.
Dude,
which you're
we're gonna cut that out.
Yeah, I don't know.
My stomach is growling. I need I need food.
We need some chocolate.
They don't pay us enough around
here.
We
need some chocolate milk. I was thinking of Red Dead Revolver, which was a game that like I got super into Red Dead Redemption when that came out, and obviously Red Dead Redemption 2 as well. But kind of between Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2, I was like, there's another one. Like I got to go check this out. And I went back and played it, and it was like your typical, like, there's no way that they knew what that game was going to be when they made it. Like it was like the most generic, like, here's your bounty hunter that comes into town and hunts down bad guys and blah blah blah, right? Like it was just your generic cowboy game. But I played it long after its like shelf life had ended probably, and I remember being like, yeah, this is kind of fun. Like it was simple, it was engaging, right? Like the I don't know how impactful the narrative was. Like, it was your typical Western, like the main character was a child and these bad guys came onto his family's ranch and killed his dad or whatever, and that's how he became like I almost said outlaw, but like I guess outlaw hunter, bounty hunter.
A marshal.
Like there's some narrative there, but it was fun. And I remember playing, like I played through the whole thing and I was like, yeah, this was kind of fun. And I doubt I'll ever play through it again. But I feel like that kind of holds up, and I feel like I'd have to make that argument because Red Dead Redemption 1 and Red Dead Redemption 2 are so good and so far ahead of that game. Like,
right.
They're obviously better.
Yeah.
But I think that Red Dead Revolver is kind of worth playing. And I feel like maybe the fact that it's a Western, like it kind of lends itself to that old-timey, like playing it with graphics and gameplay that are old school kind of lends itself to that Western. You know what I mean? Like almost like watching a Western movie and the film is like grainy and it's old and it's like,
like you don't want it to
color
look squeaky
washed.
clean.
Yeah. Kind of, I don't know. But that's an argument I'd make that game was fun and I think it held up. And
I'm the one, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe like Left 4 Dead. I feel like Left 4 Dead for a lot of people, probably if they threw it on today, they'd be like, wow, this is not as good as it was.
Dude, bro, your stomach is making Left 4 Dead zombie sounds right now.
I need to eat. We need to wrap up this episode real fast, and I'm gonna go grab a burger immediately after this. But Left 4 Dead, I think some people might throw that on, or even like the original Halo. I even thought for a bit while I was playing, like this doesn't hold up.
Mm-hmm.
Like this does not hold up. I think that's one that's maybe the opposite of what you're saying, is something that a lot of people do say hold up, and I would have to defend myself at saying that it doesn't, because I don't think the first Halo holds up. But like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I gotta play more Halo.
Yeah, we should do some co-op Halo on this TV.
Fuck yes, we should.
I feel like that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be really awesome.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
That'd be really awesome.
I just got all the Halos.
Oh yeah,
PJ. They're around here. They're around here somewhere.
PJ's the best.
Yeah, that guy.
I'm
recording with him next week. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It's like I feel like a lot of our conversations kind of ebbed and flowed here in different directions, but I don't think there's any standard. Like you said, a lot of people think Halo holds up. You don't. And that's okay. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't matter, and it's all any one person's opinion. Yeah.
This is definitely more of like a opinionated, like fun exercise to do, to be like, hey, like, do I really think I would still enjoy this game as much as I did on the day that it came out?
Yeah. Like again, a perfect game that I think holds up, but benefited greatly from a remake or remaster, whatever the hell it was. Epic Mickey.
Dude, I had that in my mind the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think Epic Mickey probably would have been fine just staying where it was. But it got the remake, or remaster, sorry, not remake. And it's doing great. It also does help that, like, that was a Wii exclusive for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just getting put on modern consoles, which
is awesome. And listen, that's the thing, is that game, I think that game held up and the game was never outdated, but the gameplay, how do I want to put this? Was it less engaging because of the motion control? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's Epic Mickey is such a cozy game that you'd want to lay down on the couch and play, or lay down in your bed and play on your Switch at night. Like, you can't do that with Wii.
No. And like, I mean, the narrative is pretty impactful. Like, it's a good narrative. It's not gonna, no one's gonna be writing video essays about the story of Epic Mickey. It's gonna like flash forward like 2 years, and you're gonna see me releasing like a video about Epic Mickey and everything.
A love letter too.
Yeah, but
That'd be a good game to do that for.
yeah. I think it's got timeless graphics. It does the cartoony style perfectly well.
Yeah.
Engaging gameplay. I think at its core does. The controller maybe holds it back a little bit, but like they didn't change. They didn't change the gameplay when they dropped it. They just changed the controller.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's the thing is a lot of I feel like a lot of the games that don't necessarily rely on motion controls, they're usually just better off without. Like Epic Mickey was, for all intents and purposes, a game that the only thing you used the motion controller for was to aim your range attacks.
Yeah.
And because that was the only part you used the motion for, I think if you wiggle the controller, it makes him do like a spin attack or whatever. You could do that without that. Now, like Wii Sports, there's no Wii Sports without motion control.
No, Wii Sports would suck.
Right. And then they like that other Disney game that me and Age were playing, the Disneyland Connect.
Yeah.
They re-released it as Disneyland Adventures, which was the same exact game with no motion controls. So much better with no motion controls. And it's a fun game. You know, it's like it's a game that is like we pop on and you can play it for a little bit, put it down, and it's not like, you know, a story where it's like you got to take notes of like, here's where I left off in the story. You can pick it up 2 weeks later and you're still good to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So it like I said, different levels of holding up, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And a game could hold up for me and not hold up for you, or vice versa, or you know, anything like that. But it's fun to think about at least and talk about.
What's interesting too is like we've played very little of Donkey Kong 64 so far.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the little bit we've played, do you feel like that game has held up?
No.
I agree.
But I also, this hurts me to say, but I don't think Banjo-Kazooie held up either. I loved playing it. I thought it was super, super fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think Banjo-Kazooie held up. There's no super impactful narrative. The gameplay was clunky and frustrating, I would say, more than 50% of the time.
Uh-huh.
Graphics, I think, are timeless. N64 graphics, to me, are timeless.
Yeah.
But it was just cultural relevance, maybe, because when it came out, it was N64 platformers were just hot. 3D platformers.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. But the argument I would make was that I felt like Banjo held up more than DK64. Like when we were playing DK64, I remember thinking to myself, I feel like I'm just playing a less desirable version of Banjo. That's fair.
But I
guess neither have held up. Really.
Maybe Banjo holds up a little bit more, but like I don't think I would love to see. That's a game that I would love to see completely remaster.
Banjo or 60 or DK?
Both, but I was going for Banjo.
Yeah.
Give us a Banjo.
Give us Banjo anything, dude.
Yeah, I mean, we know they can't make a new game because they were just going to get nuts and bolts too. But give us an original Banjo remake. That would be freaking great. Or remaster, sorry, not remake. I don't think it needs a remake because it's got timeless graphics.
Just make the gameplay a little smoother.
Maybe that would be considered a remake because you're going to enhance the gameplay.
You'd have to re-optimize it for having 2 joysticks, which I think is just the biggest downfall of a lot of N64 games. Not all of them.
Yeah.
But I think that as a luxury that I've lived with long enough in my life, I think 2 sticks, one for movement, one for camera, is like, it's hard to not have that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I got you.
Like the same way, like playing on PC, and all of a sudden, like my PC is down for the count right now, so I've been playing a lot on console. Like having to go play a first-person shooter with a controller is extremely difficult. So I feel like that's kind of the same thing. It's like having to go back and play a game with 1 joystick and a less intuitive way to control the camera. It's a little harder. What the hell are we even talking about anymore?
Yeah, this chart.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it's time for us to wrap it up.
Yeah, I think so.
Your boy is hungry. If you guys heard my stomach growling throughout this episode,
I hope that made it in there.
If that's, I'll leave it in. I don't give a damn. But you'll hear that. I need to go eat so bad. But if you enjoy watching our stuff, you can find us on YouTube. You're probably watching this on YouTube. If not, you might be watching this on Spotify or Apple Podcast, which the podcast is always available on. We're our bi-weekly show now, every other week. We talk about some video game stuff. But you can find us on Instagram as well, where we post shorts and stuff. The same shorts that go up on YouTube and as well as TikTok if you prefer to use any of those platforms. We have a Discord, which will be linked below if you want to join, hang out with a bunch of nerds, figure out when things are going out, like our videos. When I'm doing my live streams right now, I'm playing through Majora's Mask on stream for the first time ever. We beat Ocarina of Time for the first time ever about 2 weeks ago, and we're chugging our way through Majora's Mask. It's been a lot of fun. Every Tuesday and Thursday is kind of what I do.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I like going and hanging out in the stream sometimes. The shorts are a ton of fun to do. And thanks for having me back on the podcast. And it was good to come up here and shill for Nintendo for a little bit on your
It's so nice that they pay us this extra money to talk about Nintendo stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if we can get in trouble for saying that because they do not.
No, they don't pay us at all.
Nor do they care about us. Nor do they know who we are.
We are not sponsored by anybody.
But it's funny that people say that they call you the Nintendo overlord.
I know. It's like I'm like
it's funny because you're not. But it's also like crazy to think that a video game channel who is hosted by someone who is born in the 90s. We'll give it
99, yeah.
99.
I'm born in the 90s.
Is it the craziest thing in the world that Nintendo is like your focal point, even though it's really not? But
I talk about what I've played. This channel would suck if I just talked about games I haven't played.
Right.
Like it wouldn't be engaging at all.
Yeah.
And that's why this channel would have to be remade, because it wouldn't be engaging.
Yeah.
The narrative would suck.
Yeah. It's just an interesting thought of like I like reading books, but I stick to a very specific genre, right? So like not truthfully, but like
yeah.
Like imagine I did a YouTube channel about books that I like, and it was like Tom Clancy stuff or Jack Carr stuff or Lee Child or Mark Greaney, any of these authors that I enjoy. And someone was on there like, you just love this genre, like talk about like you're talking about all like you're ranking books and you're not putting Twilight or Hunger Games or Harry Potter in there, and it's like it's not my bag, man. I don't know.
Yeah. That's the way it is. It's the way it is. And now the allegations of our shorts being staged is coming back too. It's so funny.
I wish, dude. So like
we should release the footage of our full
like
the full recording.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is like those videos are so much longer than people would realize, and there's like cuts, and it's not like we're cutting out anything. Like it's not like we're cutting out things of like giving each other the answers or whatever. Like there's times where like Mark will list a character, like he'll name a character, and like I have to literally stop and Google, does this person, whatever. Like
yeah.
Do you ever play as this character? What was the last one I did? Do you play as them as a child?
As a child, and as an adult that came out.
There's like
yesterday.
The easy ones. There's the ones that are like like the Mario cast. Obviously, they all have baby versions that you play as. Nathan Drake, you play as him as a child. I think does Kratos have? Does he have anything with it?
You don't play as him as a kid, but you play as him as like a young. Obviously, he's younger and older in the series.
Right. Well, that's
but
the thing. It's like I was specifically going for child and adult.
Yeah,
like Leon Kennedy is in his 20s when you first meet him, and then now you're playing as him in like his 40s, whatever.
Yeah.
But specifically child and adult, and like I don't know. You name certain characters like, do I like Spyro? And I'm like, dude, well, I think he's a kid when you play as him, right? He's young.
Yeah,
and do you ever get to like an adult version? I don't know. I haven't played all the Spyro games.
Yeah.
But so you do the best you can. So like you're Googling things like that. Like Charizard was like a weird one. Like
you saying no, I think was better for me in that video.
Well, I don't know that much about Pokemon. Do you evolve based on a lapse of time?
No. It's experience. It's not an age.
Right.
You could have a Charizard that's younger than the Charmander.
And you could have a Charmander that dies as a Charmander from old age.
Yeah, sure. If you want it. I've never seen a Pokemon die from old age. Is that a thing? But
I mean, do they live forever?
They never touch on that.
Well, Ash is what, 10 years old, and he's been
10 years old.
15 seasons, or how many seasons of like Ash stuff is there?
I don't know, but he went for like a good 20 something years, but he was still 10 years old.
Yeah.
Now he's off doing greater things. Anyway. Where the hell are we?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Button Press Podcast. And I hope to see you guys in the next video and in the comments of all of our shorts and stuff, because it's fun to talk to you guys about video games as well. I love continuing the conversation with all of you guys in the Discord and the comments. So keep that up.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun hanging out, and I love reading all the comments and the discussions in the Discord, things like that. So I don't always interact myself, but I usually leave that to Mark here. But it's been definitely fun, jumping in and seeing everybody. And I like joining the lives. I like joining the chat and the lives.
That's my favorite. It's just shouting people live.
Yeah, like having an actual live interaction is more like my jam than like comments and things. But,
Absolutely.
But no, it's fun reading all of it. I wish I interacted more, and probably should answer a few comments and things and here.
Don't worry, we'll do some like lives together.
Yeah.
We'll play something together.
Yeah.
But until then, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and have a good one. And we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Later.